Hi everyone, Bernard here with the latest Citizen vlog, and this is a City present. So this is looking back. It's the 20th of February 2020. Looking back on the game versus West Ham on the 19th, and I'm recording this, and it's blowing and pouring down outside. Typical weather. Although it wasn't too bad last night. It's a bit wet when we got to the ground. When I got to the ground, it seemed a bit quiet round the ground last night. Obviously, that did sort of show later on. But we'll talk about the crowd later, obviously, won't we? That did show in a pretty piss poor turnout, to be honest with you, and that's using bad language, which I don't use a lot of. But I wasn't overly impressed. But more on that later. Anyway, it's horrible out there, and I jogged home from the tram last night, so I might give it a rest today and not go out today. I've just got to nip to the post office, and that's about it. But I think I'll give my speed walk and little jogger a miss today if it carries on like this. Anyway, on to what we're doing today. We're going to look back at Manchester City versus West Ham on the 19th of February, the rearranged game from obviously the 9th of February. We're going to do Twitterverse. We're going to do, obviously, mine and Stuart Brennan's player ratings. Have a look at what we thought last night. Quite similar, actually, very unusually. I'll talk very briefly about FFP. I think we're all bored with that, aren't we? But I mean, it's not going to go away soon, is it? Let's be honest about it. And obviously, we'll have a look forward to the trip to Leicester. Right, programmes. I mean, it was a long time ago we played West Ham, wasn't it? I mean, start of the season, it was happy to 5-0, was it? Happy days, wasn't it? I mean, I quite like the West Ham prog. It's not much better than ours. I mean, if it was to rate it, it was probably score similarly to ours. There's a lot of pages, but there's a lot of ads into it. But what I liked about the West Ham program was that they put a lot of about 12 pages on City, which is really, really good. A lot of historic things, as you know. I like my history, so there's a lot of history things. And there's a special thing there about games against City at Main Road. I mean, that's a great picture, isn't it? The main stand there, and they touch upon the famous Jimmy Greaves game, the famous 4-5-1 game, which I'll talk about again after in features in the City programme. So, yeah, I do like that. It's not as, I'd put that on a par with City's. It's plenty of pages, I think, because there's so many ads in it. Anyway, so that was back in August, wasn't it? A nice, comfortable win there. So we go on to last night, obviously. The first thing you notice, obviously, the date is obviously the 9th of February, so they're not reprinted it. I mean, I was thinking if I'd have been doing it, would have put a little sticker on. I mean, but does that make it look cheaper? I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think Gary James wrote on Twitter, obviously FFP's hitting hard and we're having to regurgitate. I think if the game had been rearranged for a couple of months from now, I don't think we would have seen this. I think it would have just been a write-off. But I think because it's obviously the next game, if you like, and it's obviously 11 days later, why not? I mean, makes common sense to me. Not a waste of paper, is it? You think about the environment, etc. Absolutely, why not? But obviously, that means there's no UEFA stuff in it. Obviously, there's nothing about UEFA at all in it. Nice piece on Alex Williams. Obviously, there's a bit of the ground as well about Alex Williams. I mean, I still have nightmares based on the Luton Town thing. Obviously, I still to this day cry out that he should have just stayed on his line before. Obviously, ended up with Antic scoring and deflected past him. I think he came for a ball he was never going to get, and if he'd just stayed on his line, I think it would have been a different story and would have been a different City, wouldn't it? So I've never quite forgiven Alex for that, but I mean, I do appreciate all his work for the city and the community. Obviously, Buzzword. Mike Summerby also played tribute to Alex, but obviously the legend, of course, he was there last night. Pablo Zabaleta, who was at the match last night, and it does mention actually on Gary James's timeline the the aforementioned Alex Williams, but it gives me nightmares now where Luton scored 4 minutes from the end, and this is obviously the scenes at the end of the game, Mr. Pleat running on the pitch, etc. So it's ironic that he does mention that as well with Alex Williams in the programme. A nice piece on Man City, which was like for it was for Disability Football Festival. That's a really nice touch. With City, I think Kyle Walker was there. Claudio Bravo and Cancelo turned up as well. It's just a nice thing for obviously these sort of things City do, isn't it? That's all part of City in the community. And again, some nice stuff last night. Some pictures of Malcolm Allison, obviously one of my first memories of when supporting City. Malcolm Allison and Joe Mercer, of course. Some great pictures there from obviously the special that Kevin Cummins has been doing. I've been coming across a lot of Kevin Cummins stuff, actually, looking back at old programmes and memorabilia from my old Citizen vlogs and stuff like that. And moments in time, there's the aforementioned game. Absolutely, I was there at that one, absolutely soaking, absolutely pouring down that day. I remember we lost 5-1. I think that was one where Joe Corrigan kicked out, turned his back on it, and a West Ham player scored a goal, and Joe Corrigan hadn't got back to his goal, if I remember rightly. So that's good history bits. And of course, you couldn't finish it off without Pablo, could we? There's old Pablo Zabaleta with bubbles around him. We can forgive him, can't we? We can forgive him that. Anyway, the team. So Edison, Walker, Otamendi, Laporte, Mendy, Rodri, Silva, David, KDB, Jesus, Bernardo Silva, and Aguero. Not a bad team. It was nice to see Aguero and Jesus, wasn't it? We started okay. It was a bit limp, I think. I mean, I looking back at the highlights, I remembered an Aguero chance with the outside of his foot that sort of went wide of his post, but I thought that was the first chance. But on the highlights I've been watching, it's about the second or third chance, and so obviously your mind plays games with you when you're actually at the ground, doesn't it? But yeah, that was probably between 8 and 12 minutes, the Aguero with his right foot. But I mean, sandwiched with that, you had the two Jesus chances, didn't you? I mean, I don't know what Gabby was doing. That first one, a superb through ball from Silva. He was onside, just opening himself up to beat the goal, and then tried to take it around. By the time he'd faffed about with it, obviously the goal he got back and we missed the chance. That was absolutely terrible by Gabby, and that was really the simpler of the two chances. Because quite soon after, he had another one where another great through ball ended up from KDB, because it took a deflection. KDB had sort of hit it, and then it hit a defender and come back to KDB, but he dinked it through to Gabby again, basically a one-on-one, just shoot, and he didn't. He faffed about again, and he ended up getting the ball taken off his toe, and it was a bit disappointing. I mean, because it wasn't the guns blazing opening to the game, so that was a little bit disappointing. 20 minutes, Jesus did well this time. I think he nicked the ball and Silva onto Aguero. And this was the incident where I think he was supposedly flagged offside. I usually look towards the lines, but I didn't in this instance, to be honest with you. He was supposedly flagged offside, but he wasn't. He was onside. But then the West Ham player literally grabbed his meat and two veg and just pulled him back. I mean, there's some great pictures and some funny comments from ladies on Twitter about, who's this guy? I wish I'd been in that, but I would have done the same sort of thing, because he pulls him back by his meat and two veg sort of thing. And I think even Keith Hackett, again on Twitter this morning, said, why was that not a penalty? So again, but as far as I know, it didn't even go to VAR, but I've been told that because the linesman had flagged offside, it wouldn't have gone to VAR. I mean, I think we all just give up now, because we just don't know. They don't know what they're doing, basically, today. We're not going to go on about VAR again, but I mean, that was all right. We probably wouldn't have scored it, would we? It was a penalty. We probably wouldn't have scored anything, but I don't know what happened there. But there's some great pictures of the guy with his arm round in Aguero's crotch. It's quite funny, and I'm sure his girlfriend sorted him out later on. What am I saying? Not sorted him out. I'm sure his girlfriend commiserated with him. I'm sure there was no harm done anyway in that region for poor Sergio. Anyway, let's get on to something else. 29 minutes before the goal, Mendy had a shot on goal. I mean, he was crossing most of the day, but he did have a shot, and nothing came. I can't quite recover from that now. Do I leave that in or say that out? I don't know. And then we had a couple of corners, didn't we? In the second corner, I actually, on the highlights, I was watching highlights back. The first corner, I think it was the first corner before the goal. It wasn't Rodri, it was Laporte was doing that to someone in the crowd, like the Hammers thing. And he wasn't doing it at the West Ham fans. He was doing it towards the stand on the stand where the cameras are. When obviously to my left, I was in the south stand, and I noticed on the highlights, I was watching the extended highlights. So if you get to watch it, please, what's he doing? I'm totally confused. Anyway, if you find out, let me know. Anyway, a corner. We scored from a corner, so that's like the third goal we scored in about 3,642 corners this season, isn't it? I think that's absolutely wonderful, fantastic. I think it was obviously planned, Rodri backheader, and I think Laporte tried to nick it at the back post, and I'm still not convinced he actually didn't nick it. I'm not convinced the ball had crossed the line, but obviously he wasn't offside or anything, so it would have been all right. But I'm still not convinced. And so that was 1-0. I mean, West Ham didn't have any idea, did they? I mean, there was loads of things. We had attempts by Aguero blocked. David Silva had a thing where he dinked over them. I thought he was just going to get and beat the goalkeeper. He claimed a corner, but obviously it ended up going wide. It was classed as a goal kick. Rodri had a shot blocked. Aguero, Bernardo, shots blocked. Yeah, all credit to West Ham. They did get men behind the ball. And then I think on the stroke of our time, we had Kyle Walker's high and wide shot. We fell him, and I think it actually hit someone in the face near me. There was a lot of laughing. So I think, I mean, the people that were there that hadn't gone for the half-time refreshments, I think there was a right thud in the crowd. So I think I'd love to see a picture of what happened to it, but people were laughing to my left. So I think it actually hit someone in the face. So that was quite. On an unusual night on and off the pitch. I mean, that was quite funny. So that was 1-0 half time. And I just got to mention our world champion, haven't we, at half time? I usually go and sort of, half time, have a break and then come back. But I did catch and it's been on Twitter today. I think you seek it out on Twitter. There's pictures of it. Obviously, Moonchester confirmed his world champion rating by beating Hammerhead of the. A really ribbed. I mean, look. I mean, obviously his suit is ribbed anyway, but I just get the feeling he's quite a ribbed guy. I mean, I'd be dead disappointed if he's skinny Hammerhead, to be honest with you. But it's nice to see Moonchester pick up and win that little challenge, which confirmed him as world champion. I don't know. I don't know how that's true or not. Whether there's been heats and stuff like this. I did see him featured recently on Twitter in another race with like 3 other mascots, which he beat quite easily. So. Hey, obviously, Leroy's got to do something, anti when he's not playing. So there you go. Second half, yeah, a bit more of the same. West Ham again never really threatened. I thought Aguero might have scored quite early on. I think it was about 54 minutes when he put a shot across the face of goal when he was through on the right. And this is sort of angle where he usually scores, isn't it, Aguero? 60 minutes. Well, probably the loudest cheer of the night. Just probably louder than Moonchester winning the sprint. Actually, was obviously Zaba came on, didn't he? And obviously we're doing the Pablo Zabaleta song, etc. The nice version. We did the one win the league one once, but we did the other. The other Zabaleta song. So that was nice, and I did hear it on the TV when I got back and looked at highlights. It did sound really, really loud. So that was nice to see Pablo. And it wasn't soon after we actually got the second, was it? I mean, it was a bit of interchange, wasn't it, between Bernardo and KDB, and it ended up that I think KD probably told Bernardo, "Oh, shift, and I'll finish it off." But I don't know what the goalkeeper was doing. The goalkeeper, Fabianski, is it, the West Ham goal? He was very poor, but it went into his near side post. And if the game was even in doubt at 1-0, which it wasn't, I mean, there's always a chance, isn't there? But at 2-0, it's probably dead and buried. 65 minutes, Stones come on for Laporte. 77 minutes, superb KDB outside of the foot pass. Jesus again, who could have had 3 or 4 goals last night, and the goal he made an okay save, but again, Jesus basically hit it at him. So 79 minutes, Gundogan for man of the match KDB. 85 minutes, a little cameo from Foden for David Silva. I've not done the good, the bad, and the ugly today because there wasn't any real ugly. I mean, the only ugly is off the pitch, really, and the bad things are off the pitch. I mean, I'm not going to put Jesus, Gabby in with the bad things I could have done. I put a few notes here, the bad finishing, but we know what he did, and obviously Stuart Brennan reflects that in his scores and my scores. Stats for the game: 78% possession for City, 22% for West Ham. 20 shots for City with 7 on target. So again, we're down at the 33% rate. I mean, I like that to be 45-50%, which only means 9 or 10 on target, but it does make a difference. And let's be honest about it, when we're playing Real Madrid, we just can't afford this, this thing, lack of... I saw a training video the other day, and they seem to be taking where they were playing with little goals, and the guys, as soon as they got a ball within a certain area, they had to shoot towards the goal. So it was instinct, as soon as you get it, shoot, and this is what Gabby didn't do last night, and this is what City do not do. We just have that instinct, just shoot at the target, and all right, they won't all go in, but obviously you'll get enough to go in. So I think, you know, I could see that the doing it in training, but when it came to the match last night, obviously we didn't fulfil what we've been practicing in training by the looks of it. And I think Pep will be disappointed in Gabby, even though obviously he got in the right positions, and again it worked quite well with him and Sergio, but Gabby just was pretty poor last night. Yeah, so 20 shots, 7 on target. Again, not quite good enough. West Ham 3 shots, 0 on target. I mean, I did catch little bits of the highlights. I didn't remember anything last night really of what West Ham. I don't think Edison had anything to do. Obviously, no shots on target. So there's a couple of blocks, I think. So that is 3 shots, none on target for West Ham. Sorry, just something happened there. It just distracted me for a moment. Fouls, 5 by City, 7 by West Ham. Yellow cards, none by City, 1 by West Ham. Offsides, 1 by City, 3 by West Ham. Corners, 6 for City, which we scored from 1. Brilliant. 1 from West Ham. And saves, none from City and 5 from West Ham. So that leaves City second, 22 points behind Liverpool. You know, they're out of the way, aren't they? 54 points. But West Ham 18th. I mean, they're gonna have to do something, aren't they? They could easily end up in trouble, West Ham. You know, they are struggling. That's the problem. So we'll see with that. The crowd, yeah, I can't go without the crowd. I mean, people have got reasons. I know myself, people that didn't go because they'd already got pre-booked things. But I think that since we've extended the Etihad, that is probably the poorest turnout I've seen for a competitive league game. And it was really, I did say it was piss poor, didn't I? It really was. But I mean, we did our best atmosphere-wise. It wasn't the worst atmosphere, actually. I mean, the West Ham fans were a bit of a waste of time. I think we got 2 or 3 renditions of the Bubble song, and one about us being cheating bastards or something, which obviously I thought West Ham and us were like little brothers in arms. But obviously, you know, I've put them off. I've took them off my Christmas list again now because of that. But we came out with a couple of songs back, and I think 1-0 to the cheating. We use the word I don't like to use. CUNTs was obviously sung by City when we went 1-0 up, 1-0. So again, the gallows humour of City fans. It's what what I expect, and I expected a few more there last night to actually show that gallows humour. But I was very disappointed with the crowd, and I don't have a go at City fans particularly, but you know, I'm always sticking up for City fans. But I wasn't impressed with that crowd last night, and I know people. I know myself. I mean, next season, you know, again, I'll be. When the season card comes round, will I be able to afford it? I mean, I'm probably less able to next year as I am this year, so I'm not going to do it. But, you know, when I can get there, I will get there. And I think anyone who had the chance of getting there last night should have really done it, because obviously it was all round the ground. It wasn't certain sections where they didn't sell tickets. There was a lot of season card holders, etc., who hadn't turned up for that game last night. So very disappointed, but obviously I'm not going to rant over it. Player ratings, Stuart, Brennan. And I think I agree with most of them. If I'm different, I'll let you know. But if I agree, I'll just shout out Stuart Brennan's score. His heading, Kevin De Bruyne shines and Gabriel Jesus struggles. So, yeah, I mean, that probably sums it up. Edison rarely has a goalkeeper had so little to do in a game. No saves, no crosses to field, nothing. So he gave him a 6 out of 10. And 6 out of 10 is my basic. So I agree, obviously. Kyle Walker, storm forward to good effect on a couple of occasions, sharpening up for the Bernardo, 7 out of 10. Yep, no, I don't know the disagreement with that. Nicholas Otamendi had an easy time of it and dealt with the physical threat of Antonio without any fuss, and he gave him a 7. Again, spot on. Aymeric Laporte played his 50th Premier League appearance, was able to ease his way through the game, give him a 7. Again, not going to argue with that. Benjamin Mendy, important outlet for the Blues, just needs to mix up his end product a little more. 7. Yeah, I have given him a 7, but yeah, the end, some of those crosses, I don't, you know, we haven't got Slaven, whatever his name is, have we up front, or even Dzeko, if you think back to the old days. But yeah, I mean, some of them crosses to the far post. I mean, they're not going anywhere, are they? I just don't know with Mendy. But overall, yeah, I would give him a 7 as well because he played pretty well. Rodrigo did take the rhythm on tempo of the game throughout and rose to head in the open. So let's give him 8, Rodri. So I'll give him an 8 as well. I'm not going to argue with that. And I'll get a couple of changes now. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne continues to be a tour de force for City, covering every inch and claiming yet another assist and goal. And he's given him a 9. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne, I might give him an 8. So I might have pushed to 8.5 looking at the highlights. But I do, you know, for every one thing he did well, for every 2 things he did well, perhaps one didn't quite come off. But that's par for the course, isn't it? So but I won't give him. I'll give him an 8.5 because I'm mean anyway. But Stuart's giving him a 9, and I wouldn't particularly argue with that. David Silva showed he won't be content with a place on the bench next week. Magical at times, yeah. He did go off with an injury. We'll talk about that in a second. David Silva, he's giving him an 8. I give David Silva a 7.5. I thought 8. Nearly an 8, but give him a 7.5. Bernardo had the left side of the Hammers defence on toast at times, a real bag of tricks. He's giving him an 8. Again, I thought Bernardo played well, but as I said, he didn't have much to play against, did he? So I give him a 7. So I give Bernardo a 7. Aguero should have been given a penalty and fired just wide after his typical power surge, but not really in it. He's give Sergio a 6. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll give Sergio a 6 again. He say he wasn't really in it, was he? He's more of a feeder, wasn't he, to Gabby, rather, or to take emphasis away from Gabby so he could do more, take players off him. Gabriel Jesus missed 3 big chances, which is why Guardiola will be reluctant to risk him against Real Madrid. Absolutely can't disagree with that. He's given him a 5. I gave Jesus a 5.5. A bit kind. I was probably nearer to the 5 as well, but I've been a bit kind. But as he said, there's no way Gabby's going to be starting against Real Madrid. We just can't rely on him. Subs, he's only rated John Stones for Laporte 65. He gave him a 7, John Stones. So yeah, I didn't really notice he'd done that much. He said a touch of class. So yeah, I probably noticed something I didn't notice anyway with John Stones. So that's the player ratings there. The Pep Watch. I mean, yeah, he had his press conference and they were trying to be very careful on not getting too many questions about the UEFA thing. So there was a couple of questions, and he obviously made the statement that he's confident in the club, as you would do. He's going to fight for the people who love the club, who like this club until the end. Certain things that he said in a previous interview, just as he came off after the game as well. Obviously, his love of the club, etc., etc. But I mean, obviously, if he turned around and said, "Yeah, I'm staying for another 4 years," fair enough. But let's face it, he's just seen out his contract basically. So I'm not going to get all giddy-eyed about it, all dewy-eyed about his comments. But and then obviously they stopped any more questions at that stage, and he was asked about David Silva. He said he did feel something, but they'll check today what's going on with David. But hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be okay. But he couldn't help it. He wanted to get out, and some journalist was I think it was a Spanish journalist, trying to ask him about the chairman of Barcelona, and commented about City and saying it was quite right to get the ban, etc. And the City PR guy, I'm not sure who he is, was trying to say no, but Pep said, no, it's okay, I'll answer the question. And it was quite interesting because obviously he did sort of look at him and said a few things, but his sort of veiled thing was Barcelona shouldn't talk too loud. So in other words, yeah, these clubs like Barcelona, we know they want to be careful, and I think City have a file on all these things. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't a threat, was it? But it was nice to see that City at last are actually sticking up for themselves after years of just sort of going along with UEFA and trying to be the good guys. We're actually realised, we've got to fight back now. It's no good. Let's have a quick look on Twitter Watch before I go on to my little view on FFP. Let's have a look. A couple of things before the City game. Sky Sports Premier League. I don't like listen to their stuff, but Manchester City striker Sergio Aguero has been named Premier League Player of the Month for the record-breaking 7th time. So it seems a long time ago now, but that was only a couple of weeks ago. So well done to Sergio. And there's some stuff obviously with the Oscars coming out. There's some images of like posters for certain of the City players, which I thought were really good. That I'll tell you by in a minute. It's a great one for David Silva, isn't it? Gran Canaria. So these are like, obviously in Oscar week, this was like pictures that came out. That's a great one, isn't it? Gladiator. The hero will arise. Yeah, that's from Davros at Davros1736. They were good. I like them posters. There was a thing on Twitter with obviously you've probably seen it about Liverpool and how Salah got away, how they get away with cheating. Obviously saying that's Mo Salah, a definite handball, but how did he get away with it? That was quite funny. Who was that from? That was from the Urban Spaceman at Conal_fits. That was quite fun. A few people had picked up on that, but that was really funny. I did enjoy that. Former Manchester, some sad news as well. Obviously, I've posted a couple of images on Twitter this week of happier days, but former Man City player and captain, England captain Dave Watson, has neurodegenerative disease. So our best wishes going to Dave and his family, obviously. On that, it's not good, is it? And obviously, I think his wife going about the heading the ball being the thing, which has been proven, hasn't it? And that was at Man City MEN. That was a piece on David Watson. Mark McLaughlin, gets involved at Charter ED Tax. One positive byproduct of the UEFA announcement is a return of the graveyard humour that City fans developed from the days when we were in the old third division. Keep it up, Blues. Yeah, so it's just commenting on things like Capel Amin had said, imagine Pep in League 2, 20 goals a game, league done by September, City ruining lower league football. You're just drinking boil piss every week. Bring it on. So yeah, I mean that's what we like to see. We do stick together usually. The ones that do turn up behind City. Vinny West Ham WHUFC. So West Ham fan in solidarity with Manchester City has been announced that West Ham will also not play Champions League football for the next 2 years. So yeah, a bit of humour from West Ham, but you're still off my Christmas list, so you can go away. Rabin at City_Rabin, obviously a very popular guy on Twitter. That mid-table club became one of the best in the world in 10 years, with the template being adopted in 7 other countries. Overall, an investment of 1.5 billion has grown to a value of 5 billion, and yet you are still pondering on the investment rationale. Yeah, and that was this is embarrassing, Jonathan, in reaction to Jonathan Northfrost's tweet. Are you serious? One of the richest men in the world who could invest in anything chooses a mid-tier football club and pumps billions into it to try and make some money. So Jonathan Northcroft is just one of a bunch of pricks, basically, isn't he? He's just a waste of time. At Atticus Finch 104, a great picture, actually. This is Bradford Colliery in the summer of 1969. That might not sound familiar to you, but if you were to take the picture today, it would be of the Etihad Stadium. So that's a great picture of looking down the street. So if you took that picture today, as I say, it would be so there's the colliery, sort of the old shaft thing. So that would be the Etihad Stadium today. That's a great picture on there. So that was worth a watch. Soriano, obviously, just his comment from yesterday, which I'll go on to in a minute. The fans can be sure of 2 things. The first one is that allegations are false, and the second is that we will do everything that can be done to prove so. So there you go. We have to have faith, don't we? Ben at Thatcher's Elbow wrote, City officials seem confident they will defeat UEFA at CAS. The problem is that we already lost. UEFA's punishments may be overturned, but they smeared us in the court of public opinion, and no court ruling will ever prove us innocent. So it's not just UEFA who's done that, is it? And constant journalists and the media have done it for years and years, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of City fans are getting a bit worn down. Again, that may have been, you say there's no one thing that kept City fans away last night, but it's a constant thing of things, different things that are affecting City fans. So that's probably one of the things. Obviously, we're just getting absolutely battered and we're just getting tired, to be honest with you. But, we've got to keep going, lads. City on a card 1. UEFA to investigate Moonchester after the world champion mascot destroys Hammerhead in the mascot race. So a bit lighter to finish off this thing on there. We had the... yeah, I mean, there's an image of UEFA's arguments for why City have been banned. This is what they're producing for court. It's quite funny. Obviously, just empty sheets. That's Bumbo Clat. This. Finishing on a couple of funny things. The Twitter, obviously the race with Moonchester, and you've probably seen it now, but obviously that's him going through the winning line. Good old Moonchester, another world champion for City. That's what we want. And whinging, some journalists are already whinging how they're being isolated from things. At Capel Amin, about effing time you S-houses have been treated far too well by the club, only to have it all thrown back in their faces. No surprises that rag Rob Harris, the biggest of them all, is first to take umbrage. You're lucky the club hasn't banned you, moron. And that was something to do with one of the women's football things that they're going to limit certain things being said, and quite right too. An interesting one from the Premier League. At Premier League, Aymeric Laporte has won 43 of his first 50 Premier League matches. He overtakes the record previously jointly held by Edison, Ian Robin and Didier Drogba on 42. So well done to Eric. We missed you, mate. And just to finish off, again, I think it's from, this is at JazzFunkE13. Rodri, again, back to Rodri now, completed 178 passes for Manchester City, a Premier League record since detailed data collection began in 2003 and 4. The entire West Ham team completed 169, so Rodri did 178. Yeah, that's Twitterverse. FFP, yep, far cleverer people have commented on me. I always, if you don't follow at Press Switch Blue, Colin Savage, please follow him. I always get a lot of my information from him. And if Colin's ever worried, then I worry. If Colin's okay, then I'm okay. But and obviously, in the same way that I follow Gary James on history, obviously Colin James at Press Switch Blue, please give him a follow and listen to everything he says. Yeah, I mean, but Soriano has now put his reputation on the line yesterday with that statement. So we have to believe that City are telling the truth, and UEFA have sort of gone off on one and trying to make a point and obviously accept that they may lose, but we have to have faith, don't we? So there's a lot of people at City their heads will roll, basically, if this turns out one way or the other. I mean, I think it will damage us. I mean, a lot of people say, no, I won't damage from a footballing point of view. I'd be there supporting my club, whatever division we're in, etc. But obviously, as far as the overall thing of what City want to do, the owners, etc. Of course, it'll damage. This is damaging us anyway. This is damaging our reputation. We've got certain people sticking up for us, but again, some people seem to be missing the point. I mean, we signed up for this and all. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe we did meet certain conditions, and my reading of it was that UEFA changed the goalpost and actually moved the things, and we couldn't go back in time in a time machine and alter what we'd spent. There's nothing we could do about it, and we did actually meet certain constraints, and then all of a sudden UEFA changed the rules, and that's going back in time. I may be totally wrong, but that's my idea of it. And it's, yes, FFP is the biggest load of rubbish in the world. It shouldn't, it's when it first appeared, the very first week of FFP, I called it the favoured few piss take. That was my little catch on it for the FFP, which obviously piss take with a hyphen in the piss take, because it could be two words, wouldn't it? But that was my little thing, and I've always called it the favoured few piss take, and that's what it was, and that's what it is. And it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anyone apart from the big clubs who. And I saw an interesting piece on PSG with, again, I think it was at Press Switch Blue, Colin Savage was talking about their link with the Qatar tourist board, and they got away with £100 million link up or something. And even though UEFA had thought it would probably been worth near 10 million, they wanted 200 million, and they got away with 100 million. So I mean, there's so much rubbish out there, and I say with Pep's little dig at Barcelona. So we've got to have faith, haven't we? We've got to have faith. Fans, please, based on last night, perhaps some of our fans are losing the faith. And I mean, yeah, football is batching us at the moment with VAR and this UEFA and the FA and all the other fans. The opposing fans are loving it, obviously. But hey, stick together. Come on, we've got to have faith in our team, and hopefully it'll all come out in the wash and we'll be okay. We'll still be there, won't we? But as I said, as a project, a 2-year ban is not going to do us any good whatsoever. So that's my bit on FFP. I just think it's a lot of... The thing is rubbish to begin with, and if we have done wrong, fair enough, we have done wrong then. But obviously, I think that a lot of people high up in City are going to may have a P45 on the way, unfortunately. Right, Leicester City. The old Filbert Street. I've not actually been to the Walker Stadium. I've went to Filbert Street 2 or 3 times. So that's Saturday, 5:30 p.m, 22nd of February. We played them back. It wasn't long ago, was it? We played at the Etihad, a 3-1 win. Mahrez, Gundogan, and Jesus, 21st of December. So it wasn't long ago at all. Nice cover when we played Leicester at the Etihad. 1975 is quite significant. I don't think it's. I think it's my second visit to Filbert Street, but we played them back in 1975 at Filbert Street. Great image there, and great image of Colin Bell with his how fast he could hit the ball, 61.6 miles an hour. I don't think he was the fastest or the strongest, but that was nice to see. Yeah, I mean, so we'd gone there against Leicester. Leicester were third from the bottom at the time, and City were up 3-6 in 8th place with the Division 1 back then. So yeah, I think that was my second visit to Filbert Street. But what was strange about the game was this. I mean, look at the goalkeeper. And I do remember this at the time. Unfortunately, we did lose the game, but Mike Doyle had to go in goal because Keith McRae was injured. And he literally survived 0-0 because McRae went off quite early. I think I'm actually in that stand at the back there. I'm sure we stood at the side, if I remember rightly. So McRae got injured. So because I think McRae was in for Corrigan at the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not really back greatly on this, but I'm fairly sure that it could have been Corrigan got injured, but I'm sure it might have been McRae who got injured. Anyway, if I'm wrong on that, please forgive me. But yeah, anyway, whatever happened, Doyle had to go in there, and he kept a clean sheet until the last 2 minutes of the game, and he scored and beat us 1-0. But it was fantastic. He had a great game, and there's some more pictures from the game there in the programme. Some great pictures, some great memories. A great red and black kit, obviously. Some great pictures. Mike Doyle, Rodney Marsh. There you go. Yeah, Keith McRae. Look, he even had to swap his shirt with Mike Doyle so he could have the goalie's shirt. So there you go. That's to say. Yeah. I thought it was Keith McRae. Yeah, my. And there he is. And that's Dennis Stuart there with him. Action at the other they are. So even Rodney Marsh is back helping out. So it was all backs to the wall, wasn't it? But it was a 0-0 now. Rodney Marsh feigning injury in the same game. So yeah, I was at that game, and it was that was obviously Mike Doyle, God bless, and all that. But yeah, that was unusual for that game. So that was my first. I think my second visit. I think I went 3 times to Filbert Street and all, but I've never been to the Walker Stadium, unfortunately. Filbert Street and the Walker Stadium, we played them 49 times there. We've won 15, draw 14, and lost 20, so they got slightly better with 61 goals. They've scored 80. Our first meeting was 1894-95. We first played Leicester City, and the biggest win was 4-1 at away at their place in 1937-38. And our biggest defeat in 57-58 was an 8-4. An 8-4 defeat. Well, that sounds like a 12-goal thriller. So that sounds like fun, doesn't it? They're betting Leicester is 7-2, the draw's 3-1, and City is 7-9 on, so almost evens. But it's going to be a tough game, isn't it? I mean, Leicester are third now, 4 points behind us, so we can afford to. I mean, someone said to me, "Oh, great, we'll be 7 points clear if we beat them." I said, "Well, I'm old City. I'm more. If we beat them, we'll still be above them." That's my attitude. I'm always glass half empty anyway, being a City fan. So. Yeah, they're 4 points behind City, so if they do beat us, we can still stay above them. And their home and away records are excellent. Home, they've won 8, drawn 3, and lost 2, so they've collected 27 points at home, and they've still collected 23 points away from home, Leicester. So either you play them at home or away, it doesn't seem to matter. But they've not done very well the last 5 league games at the Walker Stadium. They've actually only won 1. They beat West Ham United 4-1, but they've drawn with Chelsea 2-2, Norwich 1-1. And obviously been beat by Liverpool 4-0 comprehensively, and Southampton, a re-informed Southampton 2-1. So it could be an interesting game. Obviously, it's usually a good game against Leicester, isn't it? I think last night was a bit of a warm-up, really. I mean, after a couple of weeks off, had that feel about it, didn't it, last night's game? So it should be an interesting game. As I said, I can sort of watch it a bit more relaxed because... obviously, even if they beat us, we'll still be above them. We're nowhere near that other team, are we? So it doesn't really make any difference. And does it matter about finishing second now? If we're going to be banned for 2 years anyway, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? Apart from money, a bit of money in the bank, which we're going to need, aren't we, if we do get banned? So I'm sure we'll arrange some friendlies around the world against certain clubs that pay quite well, and who can stop? I mean, what can they do? Can they stop us? I mean, this UEFA game. We'll talk about Real Madrid game in the next vlog, obviously after the Leicester game. But when we play them at the Etihad, why are we even playing the anthem? Why are we even thinking about playing the anthem? Sodom. We've played a Laura and Hardy tune or Benny Hill or something, or let's just play Blue Moon or Eye of the Tiger, or When Two Tribes Go to War or something like that. But I wouldn't even play it. I mean, why? Why would we play it? I don't understand. You know, this organisation wants us banned. I'm sorry, the tape will go missing. or nothing. Come out to silence and just come out to the booze with the fans, etc. So anyway, that's another match. We'll talk about that again, won't we? Before then, I mean, we could be about 6-0 down after the trip to Madrid, and it just put a bit of a dampener on it anyway. So that's that today. Anyway, thanks a lot. A bit of a longer one today, a bit more to get through with this FFP and a lot on Twitterverse and not having a game for a while, just a few things to get through. Please check in my Citizen Pass vlogs. There'll be a March 1992 coming out in the next few days. So please, you push the old subscribe button, push the bell notifications. You'll get to see a bit on that. And I'm looking back at March 92, and we go into March 92 with an outside chance of a league title win and definite chance of European qualification. So that was an interesting month, to say the least. They always are. I mean, every time you do one of these months, I mean, so much happens in a month in City's world, and they say we've got no history, but there we go. So keep your eyes out for that. That's coming out. And please, obviously, this little tribute I did to been very popular, and I've had some kind words from the family of Jimmy Conway as well, who appreciated what I did, and I've sent them some information as well, because he did spend 10 years at Fulham, which they've got a lot of information of, but they didn't have much on this year at City, so I've sent them some programmes and pictures and press cuttings, etc. So please watch the Jimmy Conway tribute on the Citizen Past. So that's as I say, it's only me, it's only my little special thing, nothing no fancy graphics or anything, just basically me showing you things. That's how I do it. I mean, I've got the basic equipment, and that's all I've got. So I try and do the best I can, and it's lovely to be appreciated. And it's wonderful to get comments off Jimmy Conway's family as well. That was absolutely fantastic. It brought a tear to the eye. Yeah, please check that out, and all the best again, and condolences to Jimmy Conway and his family and friends. And of course, after the Leicester, I'll be back after the Leicester game with another one of these City presents, and I'll be looking going forward to Real Madrid away, another big one. Anyway, come on, guys! If you didn't get there last night just because you couldn't be bothered, please make the effort. I'm sure there's not many of you. Most of you will have genuine reasons, and these things happen. But that was a pretty poor turnout last night. We've got to get behind City, and we've got to get in the trenches with them. It feels I've been in the trenches with them for years, to be honest with you. But we need to get back in there. We need to get back on that front line again with the boys. And I fell out with Pep a little bit recently. I'm okay with him again now. He's not. As I said, he's there next season, isn't he? I mean, we've got to prepare the ground for the new manager, and he's got to obviously be some sort of crossover. And I'm sure we've got things planned. I mean, this is just another pain thing to worry about, isn't it, for City? Certainly the chairman and the CEO, etc., to worry about. I'm sure they've got other things they could be doing, planning for the future rather than worrying about this. But we need it sorted, don't we? One way or the other. You can't progress, we can't move forward, and we're going to get a lot of away fans calling us cheats, etc. But all we do is sing songs back. 1-0 to the cheating and blah blah blah, and we'll see you in court, and cheating masters are us. I mean, so what? Hey, we turn it on its head, don't we? We can do that, but we don't like the other guys doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Sorry it's gone on for a bit longer. Please follow me on Twitter at nostalgia_movie. Everything about City and movie. If you're into movies, you'll know I do the movie vlogs, etc. And I'm on Facebook at Bernardo Links with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, my little website where I can try and earn a bit of a living with the DVDs, posters, and board games. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back on Monday. Monday after the Leicester. Is it Monday? Or so? I'm losing track now. When we're even playing Leicester. Anyway, I'll be back after the Leicester game. I'm sure Sergio Aguero's countrymen are okay. Sorry about my little thing before. That was quite funny. I'll probably leave it in. Just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's not made for young. As I say on YouTube, I've not made this for kids. But I mean, I didn't say anything bad. just the image, So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you got to do the rest, have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, and of course, look after your family. This is Bernard saying goodbye, and hopefully you'll join me again for something very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.